All right, brother. Here we are, another episode, Mob of Two.
Jesse.
That's right, Jesse. We're going to be ranking the tiers of Breaking Bad characters today.
We need to cook. We need to cook and make a tier list, Jesse.
We need to cook and make a tier list.
I was in the show, obviously. We need to cook, and then I need you to help me make this online tier list.
Yo, Mr. White, that's what the fuck, bitch?
Jesse, fucking help me.
Well, let's help them. Let's help make that list.
All right.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I can go.
All right.
I gotta fucking have her right off the bat. Lydia?
Gotta have her right off the bat.
I don't know. Nothing really. I mean, she was an important part of,
Yeah.
part of what they were doing, but I mean, in regard to her as a character, I mean, she kind of annoyed me. The way she talked kind of annoyed me. Nothing particularly iconic or amazing about her character. Not like totally unbearable. And I don't know, maybe C tier.
Lydia goes in C tier.
Does that work for you?
That works for me. I agree. She was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
She was like a scared woman. I mean, the annoying part kind of does fit in with her character, but
Yeah.
compared to all the other great characters in the show, I agree that she's a C tier character.
All right. I'm glad you agree. I'm envious of the one you get to do.
This little guy,
That beautiful man right there.
Saul Goodman, S for Saul Goodman.
Hell yeah.
Definitely one of my favorite characters of the show. Is fantastic in his own show, Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Just hilarious and charismatic. Just an amazing character that I would not want to be my lawyer.
So yeah, definitely not. But I mean, love what he did with the role. Bob Odenkirk was mainly a comedic actor, and then who knew? Like people didn't really know he was that great of an actor. I don't think until he took that role.
Yeah.
To go from just being a lawyer on the show, then to having his own show that some people, think his show is even better than Breaking Bad. I don't. I mean, I think Breaking Bad is a better show, but it is an amazing show. I love it. The writing is great. That's what I've always loved about Breaking Bad is how good the writing is. A lot of shows have kind of, shit writing. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that rating for him. He's really entertaining whenever he's in a scene. He's so fucking good. He's hilarious. I love him in that role.
Love him. S tier.
Hell yeah. Oh, great. I get fucking Marie. Are you fucking kidding me? I get Marie. They're minerals, Marie. They're fucking minerals. I I don't know. I like her a little bit more than Lydia, but not enough to put her in B tier. I mean, I put her before Lydia, but I think she would have to go into C. I found her kind of grating and annoying throughout a portion of the show. I did end up feeling a lot more empathy for her after what happened to Hank, and just her having to deal with the fallout of all the terrible shit that goes on in the show. You do kind of eventually feel for her. I will admit that. But, during the period of the show where she's kind of annoying and she's constantly like being a shoplifter, and then lying about it and like gaslighting people, I did find her kind of grating.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I would. maybe put her at B, but I'm not mad at C either. She's definitely annoying, but like you said, you do end up kind of feeling for her, and then like I feel like her character has more of a little more layered than Lydia,
Yeah.
especially with like the shoplifting and like also just like how everything around her is like purple, like the color symbolism related to her. She is a bit more of a deeper character than Lydia, but I'm not mad at C either for her.
All right, I'm glad you agree. Yeah, probably like C plus, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would be accurate.
Yeah, we'll put her in the first C.
They did do a lot of work with color in the show, a lot of
Yeah.
metaphors with color with different characters too, which I did like a lot throughout the show.
Yeah. This Vince Gilligan did his thing on it, you know.
It is thing,
Did his
motherfucker.
thing. And that brings us to Walt Jr.
Oh, wow. All right.
Um, I like Walt Jr. I think he's a good character who brings Walt like a little bit of reality to the situation. He's definitely annoying at times. He is
Yeah, at times.
a little tough. I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna put him in
Yeah.
that B spot. I think he's a nice grounded part of the series. He's kind of the only one that's really like, for the most part, stays pretty even keel throughout. He doesn't really go insane. He just kind of at one point wants to like change his name, he's being called, and
Yeah.
but I mean he's a nice B for me.
Yeah. And I think the actor did a pretty good job with the role too.
Yeah,
It felt like for the most part, a believable portrayal.
yeah,
Um, I I enjoy him more. I enjoy watching him more than I enjoy like when like Lydia is
yeah.
on the show. But yeah, a ton of memes about him, obviously, which are funny. I love how much he loves eating breakfast. You know,
Yeah.
he's in a lot of scenes eating breakfast. Yeah, good rating for him.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, okay, I can move on
Yep.
to. I don't remember his name. I mean, I know he was one of the main henchmen or people who worked for Gus, and he was in the part where Gus had the box cutter, I think.
Yep.
Um,
Isn't he the one that he's the one that
yeah,
got fucked up? Yeah.
Gus killed him with it, yeah, in front of them. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he probably uttered a total of 8 words throughout the whole show. So I can't. I mean, he was good at having that like pissed off kind of tough guy, angry look on his face, and you could tell that he wasn't like a good guy. He was just you know a bad dude. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing really happened with his character that would even encourage me to put him in B. But also he doesn't go in D because it's not like he was this totally annoying, horrible character that whenever he was on, I wanted to turn it off. I'll put him at C.
All right. Would
Do you
you
agree with
put him ahead of Lydia or behind Lydia?
that? It doesn't matter. Probably he just didn't have enough like moments really for me to accurately rate that. Lydia had way more like scenes in him. I feel
Yeah.
like in regards to the talking role, but
That's fair. Yeah, there's only so much you can say about this character. He's
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting when he was like, kind of like, fuck it, like I'll start cooking all the shit myself,
Oh,
and
true,
like
true.
he did that. But that was like his big shining thing, and then he got murdered with the box cutter. So
Yeah.
I think C is a good spot for him.
All right, cool.
Nice. Now we have the twins.
You get all of the intriguing ones. I get all of these like fucking bullshit ones.
You know, I did notice there is one character missing on this tier list.
Oh no.
They don't have Gene on here.
Oh yeah.
Kind of an interesting choice. Um, but we'll talk about the twins now. I thought the twins were great. They didn't say, they probably had less speaking words than this henchman guy. But
Yeah, but they had a very, didn't mean to cut you off, but a better, like, a more intriguing vibe to them.
yeah, they were, their whole vibe and tone and just the way they interacted with like each other and the world around them was very like sinister.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them in A.
Yeah, I agree with that. They were really entertaining when they were on, and they gave off a very off-putting kind of evil vibe.
Yeah, and especially the episode where they're like crawling on the ground. It was like I've never seen anything like that in a show or a movie, really.
Right.
And yeah, I thought they were great characters. The acting they both did was phenomenal. I liked when they were trying to like murder Hank as well. I put him in A.
Yeah, I like them too. I remember watching that part, for the very first time when I was a lot younger, and it was jarring when they were crawling on the ground.
Yeah.
Jarring. In regard to what you said before, by Gene, did you mean Gail?
Right. Yeah. 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 I don't know what I called him.
I think I knew what you meant, but I wanted to 100% make sure there's not like some fucking guy named Gene I forgot about. But
Yeah, Gail.
he was kind of an important character for a period of time. Why is he not on here?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't.
All right. At the end, we'll have to talk about Gale, where we'd put him.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. I get Ted. Ted Beneke, which I'm pretty sure Beneke is like a brand of toilet. I think his last name after a toilet brand. He's the guy that Walt's wife fucks, with the iconic line from her, "I fucked Ted." Um, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't seem like a bad dude, but then again, he's fucking a guy's wife, so he kind of is a bad dude.
Fucks around with like the money that she's trying to give him. He's also like committing fraud at the company.
Yep, he was, because she joined the company to do his books, and then, right, she realized he was committing fraud for a while, and when she would confront him about it, he didn't want to really do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a prick. Yeah.
And she was gonna save him by giving him the money he needed, and he was like not using it properly.
Right, didn't he buy a new car?
Yeah, like he wanted I'm pretty sure he was trying to like get more money from her.
What a fucking tool. Put him in D tier.
Mm.
I don't like the guy. I remember now. It was very aggravating because she was trying to help him, and he was being fucking totally arrogant, and he was being a total fucking moron. The guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and then he kills himself by trying to run away and slipping on the rug.
Yeah, he hits his head, and then he ends up in the hospital. Does he end up dying from that, or do they never?
Yeah, he died.
He dies in the hospital from that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that dude.
I think maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't even think they brought him to a hospital. I think he just died in the house.
No, there's a part where he's in the hospital with like a
Didn't
tube in his mouth. You know what? Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna find out.
he? Yeah. Fact check that. It's been a while since we've both seen it.
Yep. In the Breaking Bad episode Live Free or Die, Ted Beneke survives an injury from an encounter with QB and Huel. She visits Ted in the hospital and finds that he has a halo brace, and she panics when he wakes up.
All right.
Oh yeah, the picture, he's got a halo brace around his head, and they have to shave his head. He's bald in the scene, and he has, yeah, okay, I
Oh
remember now.
yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
All right, okay, we cleared that up. All right. Too bad I didn't die.
Jane now.
Oh, my crush.
Maybe controversial. I don't know. I'm putting Jane at S.
Whoa.
I feel like she played her part perfectly.
Yeah.
And the way that she shaped and changed just the character of Jesse is tremendous for the show.
Right.
And even Walt shaping his character. She did a fantastic job acting as the drug addict girlfriend. I just think it's the perfect actress for that part. And she played it great. Give it an S.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely S or A tier for me. I mean, I can definitely see why you'd put her in S. She was really good in the role. Kristen Ritter, I think her name is. I like what you mentioned about the role she played in regard to impacting everything that occurred after her death. I feel like, without her in there, it would have been a different show.
Yeah.
And yeah, the look of her, like what they did with her character, I liked. I think she looked cool too. I think I kind of liked her personality. I like how she wasn't. She was kind of a little like what's the right word for it? Sarcastic, maybe, I guess. But I liked her.
Indifferent.
Different, yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely date her. That's probably a bad thing, but I do like Jane.
Yeah. S for Jane.
S for Jane. All right. Yeah. I keep getting all of the like the random side characters. I don't get any main character.
I see I see a character coming up that you'll get that you will like.
All right, cool. Um, Gomez, Hank's partner. It was hard to tell at first that was him because his head is cut off and he looked kind of bald, and he has a full head of hair. But I like Gomez. I like the chemistry he has with Hank. I like the whole buddy cop vibe. It's entertaining when they're in a scene together. I think the actor did a good job, like kind of playing Hank's partner in the show. It was good to have his take on things throughout the show as well. I think it kept it intriguing. I don't think I would put him in S or A tier per se, but definitely enjoyed him a lot more than the three characters I put in C. So I'd put him in B tier.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with that. B.
Cool.
Yeah, I like the chemistry he had with Hank. He just seemed like a legit, like New Mexico cop.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like a realistic portrayal of that kind of role, and uh, even how they joke around on the job and things like that. I liked him.
Yeah, I liked all the shit he gave Hank too.
Yeah, they had a nice back and forth.
All right, cool.
All right, Gus.
Another great one you get. Oh my god, Andrew. Oh my fucking god, fuck you.
You got some great ones coming.
You're gonna get my favorite character. God damn it. All right.
All right, Gus. I'm putting in the S tier.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
just a iconic, I would say, portrayal of like if you want to call him a villain or the bad guy, just a fantastic job in that role. Like he was born to play that role. He did it perfectly. Um, so he's a fantastic actor. And yeah, not much I can say. I love how his character, how they portrayed him. I love the death that they gave him with getting blown up, and he comes out with like half his face. I just love him. He's great in The Boys too.
He is. He's so good at playing a villain.
Yeah, he's
That
just like like his cadence, the way he speaks, and like the tone he has. It's like perfect for like a dark kind of like a intelligent, dark, cruel kind of person.
yeah, very well put. I agree with all of that. He deserves to be there in that tier. I loved him in the show, and yeah, I like him a lot as an actor. I think thinking about his death too, I kind of crazy that they were able to make it look that cool back then.
Yeah,
Didn't look bad at all.
yeah, especially on a show. It's
Right. And in
fantastic.
terms of villains on a show, he's got to be in like the top three. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. He might even be the number one top villain of the show. I mean, it's hard
yeah,
to.
I'm talking about out of any show.
Yeah,
Yeah, he might actually be the number one villain out of any show because I can't really think of too many. When it comes to a lot of TV shows, I mainly like comedies. It's hard for me to find a really good drama that I really love.
yeah.
So for me, yeah, he's got to be my favorite TV villain.
Maybe we'll do another video of like tiers of TV villains or something.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah,
Good idea.
but yep. On to Hank. There you go.
All right, we got Hank, man. I like Hank. I mean, hmm, I think him talking about minerals is fucking hilarious. They're not rocks, they're minerals, Marie. They're minerals. Um, yeah, I think his arc, seeing him go from not being able to walk to being that wounded to kind of being depressed and giving up on his career and almost really giving up on himself and then coming out of that and finding himself again and, you know, becoming like a cop pretty much again. I found that to be a really good arc for him.
Yeah,
Uh, it was one of the darkest and most tragic parts of the show to see him in, I think the episode is Ozymandias when he gets killed in front of Walt. I remember my jaw being on the fucking floor during that scene.
yeah,
I had a feeling it was going to happen. You could feel it in the air of that scene that something horrible and really crazy was going to happen in that episode. But his death was shocking nonetheless. I think Dean Norris did a great job portraying Hank as the main foil to Walter. It's interesting how Walter has multiple foils throughout the show, because Walter rides the line of someone you can kind of like see where he's coming from, but also a villain. So then you have someone who's more of an outright villain like Gus as kind of a foil to him in regard to the parts you can like understand him from. And then you have someone like Hank who's a foil to him in regard to the horrible shit Walt does. You see someone who's on the other side trying to do the right thing. In that regard, I think he really is an important character. So I'm having a hard time figuring out if I want to put him in A or S, but I probably have. I'd give him like an A plus, but you can just put him in S, I guess.
All right, you put him in S.
Yeah,
that's a nice spot.
Thank you.
I agree. I definitely think he would have been like an A plus tier. But I'm not mad at him being in an S either. He's such a crucial character, and I even like his chemistry with just like Walt Jr. and like hanging around like in the backyard with him and Walt. Like those scenes are really like interesting for his character too, and seeing like his reaction on like how Walt treats Walt Jr. when he's kind of like going off the deep end, when he's like making him drink and shit, and he's like, "Hey, come on, let's take it easy." He's like, yeah, it's a great character.
Yeah, that was a fucking tense scene.
Yeah,
the barbecue part. Yeah,
yeah, and just the look on Walt's face where he's like pure like evil looking. Yeah,
definitely
love that. But on to Jesse.
Oh, so I get to do Mike. All right, so I do get my favorite character.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, there we go.
On to Jesse. I think we know where Jesse's going.
Yep.
He's going in that S tier.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Jesse goes before Hank. Yeah, definitely. I think Jesse goes before Jane.
Yeah, let me order these. I'll put.
For me, Saul Goodman goes before Jesse though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if Saul or Gus should be number one.
That would be tough. I mean, for me, I would put Saul, but I would understand if someone put Gus before him.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put Saul one. I'll leave it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jesse, great performance by Aaron Paul. Just the whole arc of his character from the beginning, when he's just kind of like a punk, like selling some shitty meth for money and hanging out with like his shitty friends. Like the first time you see him, he's jumping out of a window of like someone that he's like fucking.
Right.
And Walt sees him like, what the fuck? I taught that kid in school. And then from that to being just like almost as like a character, like tortured over time with his heart being destroyed for Jane and like Brock, and it's just like the shit he goes through leading to him eventually becoming like a slave. It's just like, I've never seen like, it's probably one of the best like character arcs of any TV show of all time.
Definitely.
Yeah, I put him in S tier for sure.
Yeah, what a horrible nightmare they put the character through. Horrible. Yeah. I mean, the amount of empathy I feel for him as a character is crazy. But I I love the finale so much because A, you get to see Walt, despite all the horrible shit he's done, do one decent thing.
Yeah.
And you get to see Jesse finally be free and finally have a new beginning after all the fucking horrible shit he was put through.
Yeah.
I love the arc that he went through. Definitely, he should be an S.
And then the movie El Camino.
Yeah, surprisingly, surprisingly they pulled it off as kind of like an epilogue.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting to see the way Jesse, like, I like when they like kind of go back and like go over kind of his time as a slave and shit. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of it's very dark to like see, but it's a good story as well.
Yep. Yep.
So, all right,
Yeah, bitch.
on to Hank. I mean,
Yeah, bitch.
not Hank, Mike.
Mike. Yeah.
The other bald fuck.
Mike goes an S. I think Mike's humor, sarcasm, wit. I think is great. I think he's a fucking badass. I love Mike. I do say he's my favorite character, but then again, it's hard to pick one favorite character. I feel like there's a couple characters I'd put like on par with Mike, but he's definitely one of my all-time favorite characters in both shows, in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I love the dynamic between Walter and Mike. I think it's fucking hilarious. I like how Mike is never, ever, ever afraid to call Walt out on any of his shit. Pretty much every line out of his mouth is sarcasm. And I also like the fact that he's been around for so long and he's dealt with so much that you can tell that he's so intelligent and well versed and knowledgeable with all the different shit he's dealt with, that he knows like what he's saying for a reason. A lot of times in the show, he'll say, I wouldn't do that, or this is going to happen if you do that, or there's no way you can, and then it turns out to be correct. Like it turns out he was right. Like he's usually always able to call it, which I think is really entertaining and fun to watch in a character, except he wasn't able to really call what Walt ended up doing to him. That kind of blows. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I love Mike.
Yeah, great pick with the S. I agree. Definitely, he's one of my favorite characters as well. I mean, I think it's also really cool how he is like such a professional at what he does, and he knows pretty much how everything's going to go.
Yeah.
And like, you could see him as like ruthlessly, like just murdering like 10 people in a scene. And then like they also were able to develop like he has like a sweeter, like he's like the grandfather aspect to him. And he does have like a bit of a soft spot even for Jesse. He like sees him as like a kid. But yeah, it does suck how he was was killed at the end, and then like Walt's like, I didn't even really have to do that. I'm sorry. He's like,
He didn't have to do that.
yeah.
You're right. But that would probably be why he couldn't predict it, because Walt didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just towards the end, there was just like a panic and unpredictability to Walt that got Mike. Great pick, S.
Thank you. Yeah, I love Mike. Fuck yeah. Walter. I wouldn't do that, Walter.
All right. On to Walter's wife.
Walter's wife.
And a gun. Well, this is kind of a tough one. She's an important character. there are parts where she's like annoying. It's like, it's tough because it's like she is like crazy. Like she cheats on him, but I mean, she's going through a lot. I mean, dealing with all that shit and then like lying. And then like at points she's like helping Walter like cover up the lie because she still kind of thinks they're going to be like a family through this and stuff. But
Right.
then she also just does like a lot of annoying shit too. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put her at B.
Yeah, that would be accurate. I think she probably has enough redeeming qualities to be put above, like Marie and Lydia, and I don't know that guy's name, the
Yeah.
henchman guy, but
She has
and
a
definitely,
step above them, but she's not as like uh hmm, not as captivating as like those twins. I don't think there was ever like a moment where I was like, oh wow, that's like something truly remarkable that I saw her character do.
I guess, yeah. I mean, probably only like a bit of her intelligence with figuring out what to do with the money. That'd probably be about it.
Yeah.
But I will add, in my opinion, there were many parts that did annoy me with her, but there were also parts that I was able to be empathetic about and kind of not relate to, but like put myself in her shoes. Like if I was in that position of living with someone and I had a kid with them and they were involved in this fucking crazy drug dealing activity and all this wild shit Walt was doing. You know how much fucking anxiety that would give me?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like, and having like a baby in the house and he's out at a fucking meth lab with literal murderers and then coming home afterwards. It's like people apparently hated her character so much that they were sending, like letters to the actress saying, I hate you, you should die and shit like that. It's like they couldn't differentiate between the actress and the character, which is kind of weird.
People are fucking stupid.
They are. They are.
I think my favorite scene of her in the series was when she was like in an earpiece of Bill Burr, and she was like talking to the car wash guy, and like he was having Bill Burr. She was like telling him like the codes and like the city codes and stuff that like the car wash guy wasn't adhering to, and like getting him to try to sell the place. I think that was probably her like coolest moment.
Yeah. I remember that one now. I forgot about that until you brought it up, but I did like that part, definitely.
Yeah.
Also the knife part of them wrestling with the knife.
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget that one.
Well,
God.
I think B is a solid spot for her.
Definitely, I agree with B. Why do they not have Bill Burr on here?
Yeah, they don't have Bill Burr. They don't have Gale. They don't have, what was his name? Mule or yeah.
I don't know.
He was a good
They fucked up.
character. Yeah.
Huh.
But I guess you get a 2 for 1 here.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't agree with this. I mean, I think it's weird to rope two characters into one. Whoever made this particular tier list, we should have really checked beforehand. That's on us. But they should be different characters. They're two different fucking people. What the hell is this?
Yeah, I don't know why they were like, we'll put they're like a combo pack.
It's not like they're human beings or anything. We can conjoin them. There's no way people have different opinions on them, which I actually do. I do, but I have to now conflate them.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's fair, but I'm gonna have to fucking do it. But I I mean, I guess they're close enough in terms of how I'd rate them. They're a little different, but I like them a lot as characters. I don't think they're
Yeah.
annoying. I think they're good comic relief. I think they're funny. They're obviously kind of dumb. They're not too intelligent, but I love how they, after like a long time of not being in the show, I love them coming back for the finale, being hired by Walt. I love that part. Um, but Badger is funny. Pete is funny too. They always had a funny dynamic with Jesse. I'd put them A, to be honest with you.
Hey, all right.
A or B, yeah. More so B plus, but whatever. I'm putting them A because we only have one in A.
That's true. I think they are pretty like an iconic duo. There was a third there guy in the posse too. Until he got killed. I think what was his name? Combo.
Combo, yeah.
Yeah, he was also part of that like kind of crew.
Yeah, they didn't add him either.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I agree with that. B plus A. Um, they were definitely like a great like comic relief to like what's otherwise a very tense and heavy show.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely think they were much needed. I always enjoyed whenever they were on in the scene. You knew like they were going to say something like stupid or funny, and just like uh, it definitely added to the complexity of the show. It isn't just like one dimensional because it would be too much if it was just like the dread and like the darkness like 100% of the time without any of these like lighter kind of funny characters. I liked when like Badger gets arrested and he's like sitting on the park bench next to like the guy that he like thinks is a cop and is a cop, but he still like fucking sells it to him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. A B plus A.
Great. Yeah. I really agree with everything you mentioned. Definitely, I think what you mentioned could kind of be regarded as a microcosm for the show itself in regard to the comic relief, because the reason Breaking Bad is my favorite drama show of all time is because of how they inject comedy into all of these horribly dark things. If the show was just horrible, like the show was just a showcase of like horrible shit after horrible shit, just like putting Jesse through everything, and then really dark moments with Walt and his wife, and no levity at all, it would be a totally different show. The
Yeah,
show really incorporated comedy, especially with Bill Burr and Huel, and even parts of Jesse and Walt and their dynamic in scenes like Walt throwing the pizza on the roof that they kept in, and then characters like Badger and Pete um, add a lot of much needed comedy to the show, which I think created, in my opinion, a near perfect show. So I really am happy that it wasn't just a fucking 100% totally dark, bleak show, but rather a show that incorporated elements of dark comedy, black comedy, but also parts were just generally funny, just like regular comedy too. So
science, bitch. Yeah,
yeah, bitch.
yeah. Even just Gus, like this, like evil kind of mastermind, running this drug empire. Just him being like a owner that's like managing the day to day in like a fast food chicken place is like kind of like funny.
Right.
It is amazing how they've implemented a lot of comedy uh, into it. I mean, there's parts with Mike that are funny, and definitely with Hank with the minerals, and but they're able to find a good balance to everything.
Yeah, that's why I love it so much. And yeah, Gilligan was really able. I think it was really due to him, like crafting that tone.
Yeah,
So
here we go. We got Hector.
Salamanca.
They also didn't add his, what was it, his nephew, Tuco. They didn't put Tuco in this list.
What the fuck, man? I think at the end we have to quickly rank like Gale, at least Gale, Bill Burr, and Tuco.
Yeah, Tuco's a big character.
I can't believe he's not on here. Like, what the fuck was a guy drunk when he made this? I don't really get it.
It's like, but Hector, I'm going S.
Oh wow, I thought you were gonna put him A.
I think he's an S for me. I think he's just iconic with the bell and his. Even though in the Breaking Bad series he doesn't really have lines, but his like the way he's able to like contort and twist his face and just like his physical performance is just on another tier. And like the way his hands like violently shaking while dinging the bell, and he like is able to perfectly fit his role and of being Tuco's like old gangbanger Tio.
Right.
To me, he's iconic part of Breaking Bad, and I give him S.
Yeah, you know what? I think I do agree with that. For an actor to be able to do all of that without talking is really fucking impressive.
Yeah,
definitely.
And also, a side note, I think he does great in. He has like scenes in what Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Where they go, and he actually has talking lines like it's in the past, and they show him kind of like mentoring or like teaching those the twin brothers, and he's like a very violent upbringing for them. So he does a fantastic job.
Yeah, great actor. They got so many great actors for this show, man.
Yeah.
And I'm happy they did.
Yeah.
Good pick. I do like him up there.
Thank you.
Oh God, I have Todd.
Yeah. Psychopath.
Complete psychopath. To the degree Todd is a psycho to the degree that at least when you're watching a movie like American Psycho, you have Christian Bale delivering such an over the top funny performance as a psychopath that it's become ingrained in pop culture and you can kind of just get an entertainment value out of it. When you're watching Todd, you kind of feel your skin crawl because he gives such a realistic performance of how someone who is a true like psychopath would act.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I know it's ironic that I'm saying that the actor did such a good job that it was off-putting to me that in terms of like an enjoyable character to watch, like everyone in the S tier is like, gives a fun, like some of the people in S tier are bad people and they're, have a lot of dark parts of their story, but they're very entertaining to watch. With Todd, parts are entertaining, but a lot of it is just fucking disturbing. A lot of it is so off-putting in terms of how he's emotionally like a fucking robot. I'd have to put him in A instead of S, in my opinion. I think he is important to the storyline and especially to El Camino. They flesh him out a bit more. I'm mainly giving him A due to the performance of Jesse Plemons because I feel like he deserves it. I think he really knocked it out of the park with portraying a psychopath. But in terms of my own personal preference for like the types of characters I get the most enjoyment out of watching on screen, I had more enjoyment of finally watching him get fucking choked to death. That was was finally watching him die. So my A placement is more so an objective placement of the performance rather than a subjective pick of my own like personal taste, I would say.
I agree. I think A is a great spot for him. Definitely played the role perfect. Deeply disturbing character. How life just seems to have no value to him.
Right.
Not even like a child's life.
Horrible.
Yeah, just a horrible person that is definitely a deep part of the story and also development of like Jesse as a character and Walt and stuff. So,
Yeah. Good point.
yeah, classic A.
Classic A. And now we're brought to the end of the road.
Mr. Heisenberg.
Heisenberg.
I wonder what spot I'll put.
I think Ted needs a friend down there, man. That'll be the thumbnail for the fucking video. Look at the balls on us. Look at our unique take.
Worst part of the show is S. Obviously, I never would have thought in a million years that I'd see Bryan Cranston doing such a phenomenal role in something like this after seeing Malcolm in the Middle.
I remember growing up with that show.
So he absolutely killed it. It was the role of his life. He absolutely smashed it. He became Walter White Heisenberg. Just his character development from the beginning to the end, where he's just like doesn't care anymore and is sort of righting the wrongs of himself, and doesn't even care about escaping anymore. He wants to die where he felt the most alive, pretty much.
Right.
I just one of the best characters of all time, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I remember watching Malcolm in the Middle growing up, and I agree with you. Never did I think that Hal, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle, would go on to give one of the greatest performances, not only in TV but in general, that I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah.
It was amazing to watch the show through actually anytime I've watched it, I've enjoyed it. Definitely watching him and what he does with that role. I know that Anthony Hopkins, who
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter, he wrote him a letter saying, I've never written like any actor a letter before, but I wanted to let you know that your performance as Walter White was the greatest performance I've ever witnessed in anything.
Yeah, what a huge compliment. And Anthony Hopkins actually got pissed off that letter got like leaked online.
Oh, he got mad about it.
Yeah, he said he's never going to write another actor a letter after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably felt like embarrassed.
Yeah, I just wanted it to be like a personal compliment.
Which it should be. Not everything, has to be put out there.
Yeah.
But that letter could be viewed kind of as a testament to truly how good of a job he did with the role.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Anthony Hopkins is a great actor. So.
Yeah, he really is. And to be able to have a character like Walter White where you flip-flop back and forth a lot throughout until you really think you've hit, and I'm talking about flip-flopping in regard to morality, like rooting for him in contrast to really being kind of viewing him as an off-putting character. Flip-flopping back and forth throughout a large portion of the show to the point where, okay, he's done a lot of fucked up shit. We're kind of really beginning to view him as a villain. And then in that beautiful finale, even though he did become the villain, he goes back, like you mentioned before, not caring if he lives or dies, but to do one final thing, which is to go out in a blaze of glory to let Jesse go. He didn't have to do that. Granted, all of what happened to Jesse was because of Walt to begin with. I'm not trying to say Walt did this amazingly heroic thing. However, I think if Walt was 100% like a psychopath, he wouldn't have cared what the hell happened to Jesse at all, you know?
Yeah. And he finally gives like Skyler, he stops like bullshitting and like saying lies and he finally admits that he enjoyed it and it was for him. It was greedy of him. He drops the axe with her. He's finally able to just be real and admit like I'm not a good person, and he doesn't have to hide it anymore. He's just being realistic.
Right. Yeah, I liked that part of the finale a lot too. It was good to finally, after a lot of episodes of him lying and gaslighting her, lying to and gaslighting her, you know.
Yeah.
He did, you know, act in a way that was really horrible, that was not for the benefit of his family. He did it because there was a deep insecurity of himself from what happened when he was younger with his company. You know, you do kind of feel for him in some ways, not to the point of what he did, but you know, anyone would be really perturbed to see other people go on using the work that you were a part of, and they gain all this fame and fortune, and you become a fucking high school teacher and nobody shows you any type of respect, you know?
Yeah. It's funny they're not on this list either.
Fuck, they're not on the oh my god. Whoever made this fucking list was drunk. We should have checked beforehand. I think we should real quick go through a handful of them that aren't on here.
Yeah, let's just do where you got Gale.
Gale's tough. Gale's kind of annoying.
He's a little bit of that comedy relief a little bit too.
I put him. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I mean, it's just funny to like his video where he's like singing and then like his like the shit with the coffee that like kind of impresses Walt. But he is like vital to the story in a way too, because his like poetry and stuff kind of leads Hank down the trail of realizing that Walt is this Heisenberg guy. So
you're right. Yeah, the Walt Whitman book.
Yeah,
an important part for sure. I'd put him B.
Yeah, I think B's good. B plus maybe, but yeah, B. I love that scene when Hank is like trying to figure out who like WW is. He's like Walter White, and like Walter, he like puts his hands up. He's like, "You got me." He's like,
"Yeah, right."
I love that scene.
Oh my god, what an iconic show, man! Every time you like mention a part from the show, I vividly recall it in my head. You know.
Yeah, that scene was so tense because you're like, oh my god, he's like staring right at him, and he doesn't know he's the fucking guy, and then he goes Walter White, and it's like such a like the peak of the suspense, and he just makes a joke out of it.
I know.
But he was like, you could tell he's like behind his eyes, he's kind of nervous in that moment. Yeah, great.
Yeah, true, man. Brilliant show.
Tuco, I think I would put Tuco at A.
Me too.
He's like a fantastic performance. I love how like jacked up he gets. So fucking like of a loose cannon. He's like all tweaked out all the time, and like then he takes Walt and Jesse, and they're kind of like on the lam a bit, and like he's hanging out with Hector. And like he's just staring them down, and he's like cooking a meal. They're trying to poison him with the ricin.
Right.
fucks up, and then like Tuco is just like it was a great performance. I love how he was like, we're going to Mexico, and like Walt's trying to say like, I have a family here, I can't just leave. He's like, so what? You get a new family there. He's like,
Totally whacked.
just the way his like thoughts were and like how jacked he was. He was like Hector was trying to like warn him about them, and like eventually he gets it, but he like thinks he wants to eat first, and he's like it's just so funny. And then the shootout with like Hank uh with like the car that's like bouncing from the hydraulics is really cool.
I know, man.
Yeah, I put him at A.
Yeah, definitely A, man. What a great role for that actor. Really entertaining whenever he's on,
Yeah.
I dig Tuco.
Lots of suspense too when they're meeting up for the drug deals, and like Walt's kind of like acting like this like badass dude because he kind of earned Tuco's respect, and he's like able to sell to him, and he's like saying like, no, I'm gonna give you even more than you want, and he thinks he's like badass, and then all of a sudden like Tuco like beats a guy to death in front of him just for like saying like, know who your boss is or whatever, like and then like Walt's like, okay, we fucked up here.
And then they were like completely terrified of the guy after that.
He's like, he just for like saying like literally like nothing, he beat him to death.
Yeah, what a terrifying fucking, oh my god, atom bomb of a character to be around, man.
Yeah, I can't believe they left this guy off of this tier thing.
I know. I'm not too happy about that, man. He should have been on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tuco A, Gale B, and then Bill Burr on the show. I liked him on the show.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him. I put him maybe. He was important to a degree. He did, like, in the part you mentioned with Skyler, he did help out. But in terms of, like, an entertaining character, comic relief, in the vein of Badger and Pete, I'd probably put him in A, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Or A-, but I liked him on the show.
I liked him. I would probably put him at B, just because he wasn't, like, a crazy important character, but
Yeah.
I definitely, we're both big Bill Burr fans, so it was really cool to see him. Like, I remember first I'm like, is that fucking Bill Burr? I was like,
yeah, I know, but he worked well in the show.
Yeah, he did. I like his like straight guy vibe with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Huel. In Breaking Bad, maybe I'll give him a B.
Yeah.
Just because he's just kind of like there, and like there's not a whole lot of development with him. But in the Better Call Saul, they definitely add more to the depth of his character, and you learn he's like a pickpocket, and like I would rank him higher if it was a Better Call Saul tier list. But in Breaking Bad, I'll give him a B.
Yeah, accurate. B.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Are you missing anyone else?
If you want to rank you know what? Okay. We could do a combo for like the people from that company that kind of screwed him out of the money.
Yeah.
The rich, I can't remember their names.
Fuck, gonna drive me nuts. I know the company was Gray Matter.
Yeah.
And I think was a woman named Helen.
Maybe.
I'll find out. But go on.
And then the other character we can rank is the guy from the vacuum store.
Oh, the vacuum. Oh, Robert Forster, right? Well,
yeah.
The actor name.
Yeah. Yeah, we could rank him. I mean, he's a pretty important character as well.
Yeah, let me find out their names. The fucking. One of their names is Elliot.
Oh, right.
And Gretchen. Elliot and Gretchen.
Right.
Um, I don't know. To me, they're just kind of. I mean, I'm trying to remember. They kind of. It wasn't like over the top fucking him over, but they did do something to like not give him credit.
They thought they were in like the right.
They did think they were in the right, but if you're looking at it from an outside view, I think
Yeah.
people can kind of see where Walt is coming from with that. I mean, they ended up making like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think didn't Walt like date her too in that time?
He did. Yep. He dated her, I think, when he was younger. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Maybe that played a role in why he couldn't be there anymore, because he couldn't deal with like seeing his ex all the time.
yeah, maybe.
But
But yeah, and he refused to take the money for the medical treatments from them. And I like towards the end when he revisits them and like demands that they help give that money to his family. And he like, pretends to have like the sniper dots on them.
yeah, I like that part too. But as characters, I mean, they are integral to the show, but overall, but I don't really find them to be overly like entertaining characters.
Yeah,
Where would you put them?
I would put them at maybe a C plus.
Yeah,
in that area.
yeah, I agree. Around there,
Yeah,
I'd probably put them at a regular old C.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
And then the vacuum guy.
I like that dude.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
He is, yeah. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Um, Jackie Brown.
Yep.
Yeah, I do like him a lot. I liked him in El Camino too.
Yeah, he definitely had more of a role in that.
Yeah, I mean, in Breaking Bad, I don't know. He was only in like a couple. I mean, he did play an important role in like helping Walt create a new life and getting out of there.
Yeah.
And then he ended up doing it for Jesse too. So I think I like what he adds to the universe. I like what he adds to like the lore of Breaking Bad. Like there being a character out there who can literally have them turn into completely different people. I feel like
Yeah.
I like the concept of that. I put him like A minus or B plus.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like he was like a professional. Like if it was like if Mike went into like a different line of work, like I could see Mike being like that guy too.
True. Wasn't Mike the one who like, got that all figured out?
I think it was Saul Goodman.
Oh, right. You're right.
He's like, I got a guy that's like, you hit the red button, but it's like permanent. So,
Yeah. True. Yeah, I like that whole idea of being able to do that for, anyone trying to run away, if they had enough money to do it.
well, looks like that completes our Breaking Bad character tier list.
Yep, with literally a handful of important characters that are not on here that we have to talk about at the end.
There's probably more too that we're forgetting.
Yeah, probably, right? I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think, man. Oh, what the fuck, man? There's the There's Todd's uncle.
Yeah, yeah, I did remember him, but I guess he is an important character. I'm not as mad about him not being on the list as like maybe Tuco, but
No, me neither. But I think it's weird that they have the guy to the right of Lydia on here, but they don't have him.
yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah, it's whoever made this list must really like that character or something.
It was like I really relate to him. But yeah, I'm blanking on the name of him though.
Yeah,
It's Jack.
Uncle Jack. Yeah,
Uncle Jack. Yeah. Um, he is kind of an important character because he kind of became the villain along with Todd in that final season.
yeah, he is like yeah, that's true. He is fucked up.
He killed Hank.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a huge scene when they come out in the desert and shit. And yeah, yeah, he would be on the list. I would put him at B maybe.
Me too. B.
Yeah. What about the hooker?
The hooker, yeah, the meth addicted hooker.
Yeah.
Obviously, S tier.
Yeah.
I love, I love when Walt, not Walt, was it Walt?
Just
Was that a Walt? Huh?
go on.
It was either Walt or Hank. I think Hank. They go to the fucking motel or something. There were two different parts, I think. Wasn't one part Hank? I'm going off on a tangent, but they go to the fucking motel and they see that hooker walking around, and then Walt Jr. was like, I thought we were going to Cold Stone Creamery. It's so funny that he would lie to him about that, take him to a fucking motel with a hooker just walking around.
Yeah, it was it was Hank. I think because didn't they find like Walt Jr. like had weed on him or something?
And they were trying to show him what life would be like if he kept doing drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like all of his teeth are gonna fall out and shit. Yeah. Well, such a great show.
Yeah, my favorite drama of all time.
Yeah. Mine too.
A very fun thing to put together. Definitely.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, boy. Good tiers. Good tier list.
Yeah, very good job, my brother. I hope we get to do a tier list where we really, really argue.
I hope so. We'll have to think what a contentious one would be for us.
No, all we're doing is totally agreeing and jacking each other off.
Yeah, that's like all we do in these videos.
No, I think we gotta add a little more drama to them.
Yeah.
I'll kill you. He doesn't go in B tier. You fucking bitch.
I don't know what that would be though. We'll have to.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, we will have to think of what that would be.
But on to the next one. Good tiers.
Good tears and the tears on the list and the tears from your eyes.